Here we go. Alright, welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 449. Yeah, it's been a couple days since I actually did a review of this because I've been busy with anime and Comic-Con. That's kind of been the reason why I've not had a chance to watch any Sentai. But now I have. And this is the first one from of course, talking about more Ninninger for this one. Discussing not one, well, I'm not discussing 2 episodes or 3. I'm discussing 4 episodes. 11 and 12 is pretty much the end of the Geba episodes. Basically, he's like the general of these two. So, mostly put, the plan is to have where Yokan work with him to use a monster to make everybody soak. Basically drag out the Ninjangers, but having the red one be on his own. Which that does happen. And like basically you have, I think it's pink. No wait, I think it's yeah, it is white and yellow begin to soak as affected by the steam of this pot. It's like, oh, I'm an old-fashioned pot. So they hide in rocks. They have this joyful thing where they basically bring everybody out, of course. Yeah, so after bringing them out, of course, then they proceed to, well, by the way, Star Ninjanger is still tasked with trying to defeat them. Yes. He also was starting to cook for them for some reason. Yes, cook food for them, which they enjoy the food, except for Yamato, where he basically proceeds to make it English food with magic. He does poke fun of using magic, of course. Excuse me. Then, of course, basically, like, I'm trying to think, because pretty much basically when it comes to, okay, I think I'm getting close here. So, normally put, basically, a lot of these monsters tend to be like, you know, like remakes, or at least basically the equivalent of the yokai that was fought by the Kaku Rangers back in the 90s. Oh, I found something interesting about the actor who played Ninja Red. When he appeared in episode 7 of this very series, that was the first time he appeared out of suit since the O-Ranger vs. Kaku Ranger movie released in 1995. Yeah, first time in 20 years. And also, we also had a brief return of basically the original Red Ranger himself. Though he was in suit mostly, never got a chance to see the actor. But clearly it's the same actor. Yeah, I was shocked to see him. I'm like, what the heck are you doing here? Oh, the reason why he was there? You see, episode 6 of the series was in fact going to air on the 40th anniversary. It was going to be the 40th anniversary of the airing of the very first episode of Go Ranger, but Chokyuger was delayed by a week, so they had to wear episode 7, which basically was kind of the anniversary, which was quite nice. Yeah, and I thought that was really cool, the fact that they actually did that. Anyways, I'm trying to find the monsters here, because 12 technically doesn't have a monster. No, because basically Geba. Gibai. Yeah. Okay, so 11. So he appears a couple more times after that, so did he have equivalent over in Kaku Ranger? He did. Known as Enethra. Except it was a furnace, not a pot, per se, and he appeared in episode 22. Interesting. Oh, and he does have a counterpart in Ninja Steel, Taxia. And he also appeared in one episode called Poison Pots. He was a contestant, not basically like. So he appeared like pretty much basically what appears to be in one episode, like in the case of what he is here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and during the course of this, Geba proceeds to have a big strike against basically, well, the Red Ninjanger, and it looks like he defeats him, but he comes back later on for the battle to defeat the monster, but then he collapses because next episode, this I think he's meant to defeat the Ninjangers, of course they think probably kill him. Yeah. So with him injured, he can't exactly attack because he's that honorable. That's why I think he has to even become the last ninja student. He does ask him at the end of the episode, like, who was the reason why he couldn't take another student, because what happened, because the guy who revived Geba basically is responsible for it. So says, I'm not like him. He didn't exactly believe that because it happened once, I think it might happen again. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt history repeat itself in the case that you made one mistake. Yeah, so then the very next episode, where basically it's like, oh, he thinks because Red's gone, he basically going to destroy the town. And Ford and Ninjangers basically take him on. Star Ninjanger. It's like, the whole thing with this one is like, before this, like, where everybody's injured. Well, actually, while Taka's injured. So, they do get to a little bit of backstory of the Bison Zord that he has. Where, like, did you make it thing? Like, she asked, did her grandfather make it? Like, no. Not exactly. He based it upon blueprints that, well, the Last Ninja basically had in his pamphlet book that he published. Yes, believe it or not, the Last Ninja had himself a book. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and of course, Taka wakes up after being asleep for a while, despite being injured. He has to go out, and of course, well, Star tries to stop him, but basically he's able to convince him otherwise. And he has his rematch with him, which, of course, during this, basically, while the rest of the Rangers deal with basically the grunts, he proceeds to get Blue's sword, and he gets a new, thanks to 4 stealing stars, proceeds to make a new Shuriken, which he proceeds to allow it to make like 5 swords, and he beats him after a really interesting, a really cool battle. I mean, it's just as good as the previous episode. And it seems like, oh, we're about done here with this guy. But nope! The Fox guy comes in and proceeds to make him giant size. So he doesn't want that at all. And then, of course, they combine the Zords. And, well, they come to the idea based on the fact that they combine the 2 skeleton giants into one. So they combine. So Star Ninja basically gets inside of the Zord. And they proceed to destroy Geba. So basically, after 11 episodes after his cameo, well, basically in the way this is 9 episodes after his debut, he only appeared at this point in time for like 11 episodes, and now he is gone because according to Fox, he probably have lived the Zeus nest. So At the end of the episode, he proceeds to do the same thing he did at the end of episode 2 of the series. Pour water on a cracked mask. And in the very next episode, we debut a brand new character here. Who is this character, you might ask? This is Masatsuki Takamori. He is the best way to describe this guy. He is the chief he first of a strategist, but he's also the retainer of basically Genatsu, which of course Ayaza, his only purpose is basically revive him. It's like, oh, a guy gathered fear to bring him back. It's like, oh, don't worry about that, we're getting very close. And I'm like, really? How the heck is that possible? Like, you don't even know how much fear he gathered. We always see these like droplets, it's not like a whole bunch. The whole thing of gathering fear, I mean, the whole thing of this reminds me a lot of Shuriken. Of course, they also copied this plot thread over in Power Ranger Samurai. The whole thing of gathering sadness, or excuse me, sorrow, to allow the Sentai to raise the surface. This is very similar, but it's not raising a river; it's reviving a villain. But it's a very similar idea. Oh yeah, and I also kind of forget the fact that in the case of, I think it was Hurricanes, their swords were sort of technology based. But you can't deny the fact that it's the second one to have with a morpher is also their primary weapon. Yep. Yeah, so what's the plan for this one? Like, oh, you can't exactly with them, despite the fact you kind of just work with them, kind of. So his whole thing is like, oh, let's try to learn the shinobi instead of doing the primary job having their boss. Which we see him again, kind of in a way. First time we've seen him since like, well, we do briefly see him. Well, he kind of appears in episode 1, episode 5. Like, here's the thing. I like his counterpart in Power Rangers. He didn't appear a lot, per se. I mean, his counterparts, well, try to use something here. So, our main villain of the series, well, in the case of Galvanax, he appeared for 18 episodes, while his counterpart didn't appear a lot. Like, he appeared in episode 1, 5, 13, that's where you see his cameo of that one. You don't see him in kind of episode 19. He appears in 34, and then he returns for the last 4 episodes of the series. Yeah, for somebody who's the main villain, he does not appear very much. Isn't that kind of weird? Well, if you look at the previous series, No Future, at least the King of Darkness appeared a good chunk of the series before he was finally taken care of. This one doesn't appear very much because he's very powerful. Yeah, so playing games. That's the purpose of basically episode 13. And then about halfway through the episode, we introduce our monster. made from pink sneakers, which the whole thing is running a race. And of course, half the most team is captured with a bunch of our ninjas for this competition. So it's just red, yellow, and star participate in a three-legged race, and they win by a hair. And they battle the monster, and that's it. It's not a terrible episode. I do like the guy. I do like the new villain's introduction. But he's like, I would not be manipulated by you at all. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I don't get the guy at all. Not really, no. He is just bizarre, to say the least. Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, and does the red shoes monster, the pink shoes monster, does he have a counterpart over in... Well, basically, it's like a telephone. He's almost Pambazi. He's actually not... Here's the weird thing about this guy. He does not have a counterpart in Kaku Ranger. He's actually the first one I could think of. Let's see. Generally, a lot of them generally do. Dalrich, the one who appears in episode 10, he does have a counterpart with the very similar name called Dodara Botch. Except he was the brother of the main character, so there's that. And he had two in episode 9. The cart one, did he have a counterpart? He did. Intamon. And he appeared for one episode. And he rides a motorcycle. He appears in episode 25. Agamo, who is basically a shadow one. You don't really see him per se. And they don't really have one for him at all. One period, the cat one. Oh yeah, he does have a counterpart. Actually, no, he doesn't. He's actually a huge second one. Okay, so solves that problem. How about the one that appears in episode 6 of the series? Does he have a counterpart in Kaku Ranger? He does. Tengu. And he appeared in episode 12 of the series. So far, out of all the monsters appeared in the series, so far 2 of them do not have counterparts at all. Yeah. I find that kind of weird. Oh, the whole thing with the monster in episode 14. Yeah, his whole purpose is to... How should I put this? Block transformation. So, let's basically have a fake call from all the Rangers, and the only one figures out the fact this is all fake calls for help is... Well, the episodes before this were Red and Star fighting each other inside a dojo, cutting a cushion, smashing cookies, well, crackers actually, and then they're scolded by the baby sister, probably the one who's spoiled of the two, probably. And basically, Taka's father is like, she's acting so much like her mother. Okay, that's kind of funny. Which at times, basically, that's kind of true. Well, appearance-wise, she probably does look like her late mother, but as for parents-wise, who knows? Maybe. A lot of time, basically, girls do look like their mothers. But they're scolded, but they still have to kind of work together to beat the monster of the episode. Though, she figures it out because she knows about one call for help like that. Because she knows her brother really well. Though, of course, they do destroy the monster. And, well... But there's not really much else to say about these 2 episodes. Not really. These 4 episodes. I'd say 11 and 12 are really good. 13... I did like the whole race. The thing was the race thing was kind of fun, but it was obvious the whole thing was a trap. But new villain seems interesting, but he's gonna be here for quite a while. He's not gonna be here for about a dozen episodes and done. Oh no, he is here for quite a while. How long is he here for? Well, he is here for 30 episodes. Yep, he appears for actually not 30 episodes, more like, I kid you not, a 32 episode stretch for this guy. Yeah, 32. And we are going to see another one before I go on break with this series. Yeah, we are going to see one more new character. Yeah, one more. But we don't see this person until episode 21 of the series. We'll talk more later with that one. But yeah, that's pretty much it for a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Excuse me, I'm probably going to call it night right now because basically I have to get up in the morning at 8 a.m. to go to work at 10. So, I'll probably see you tomorrow. Bye.